All right, everybody, welcome. It's been a while since we were on the channel, but hey, here we are. We're going to do a real quick greatest golfer weekend event we're having here in Washington, D.C. this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. As you can see down at the screen here, day one, RATTLEWOOD Golf Club in Mount Airy, Maryland. We're going to go over some of the holes, some of the strategies, and then day two, NEEDWOOD Golf Course in Deerwood, Maryland. So 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to head down tomorrow night, spend the night in Gaithersburg for 2 evenings, do some of the events in the afternoon and the evening, and then obviously fit some 2 days of golf into that as well. So let's get ahead of ourselves and move forward with the video. So let's go. All right, so here we are. Let me take a look at that music a little bit and maybe turn that down just a little bit. Leave my mic up and maybe move the music down just a little bit in the background. Okay. All right, you have 2 different courses here. Day one, RATTLEWOOD Golf Club in Mount Airy. Day two, NEEDWOOD Golf Course in Deerwood, Maryland. So let's get right into it and take a look at hole number 1. So as you can see, just a 288-yard par 4. You know, what we've put on the chart here is an average drive. Some will be shorter, some will be longer, obviously, of right around 255 yards. Leaves us with about a 33-yard, if not, depending on the moisture in the air, depending on the wind, and whether or not the ground is saturated. We might be able to get it onto the green, near the green, short, etc. All these things are variables, but taking a look at the notes on hole number 1, you can see par 4, handicap is number 9, 300 yards. We have 2 options here. We can go 190 yards off the tee and go ahead and use a 4 hybrid and then use a 48-degree wedge from 100 yards, or option number 2 down below here, which is we can go 235 yards, leaving ourselves 53 yards, which is a 3-wood and a 58-degree wedge. And then obviously there's a third option, which we haven't put on here yet, which is the driver, 255 yards, as you can see in the photo here. Jeez, oh Pete, sorry about that, everybody. 255 yards, and try to drive the green. More than likely on the first swing of the day, depending on the range, the warm-up, the topography of the course, the wetness, wind, etc. We have 3 options. We can go hit it 230 yards down there, leave ourselves 100 or so yards in for an easy wedge shot, which we can put next to the stick, try for a birdie, or we can just rip it down there, try to hit it straight and chip on and go for a birdie that way. Or again, we can hit a hybrid or a 3-wood down somewhere in the 70, 80-yard range and try to get it close that way. So we have 3 options. So that's hole 1. Let's take a look at hole number 2. And you can see hole number 2 is par 4, handicap number 7. Now, you'll see on the screen here these yellow blocks, okay? And what I've done here is I've selected 6 holes, which I believe are going to be critical that we make a par. All right, we cannot really give strokes away because these are the hardest holes on the course. We have to say if we can get par, we're really making at least maybe 1 or 2 shots on the field over these 6 holes. All right. So of the 6, if we can make 6 pars, we're probably getting 2 shots on the field at a minimum. So that's the reason why we're going to be concentrating on hole number 2, number 7, number 9, 10, 12, and 13 as we go through. So hole number 2, handicap number 7, one of our target holes, excuse me, 443 yards. We'll hit driver, and then we'll have 188 yards in. So it's either going to be a 4 hybrid or a 5 iron, maybe even a 6 iron, depending on wind and depending on where the pin is on the green. That's option 1. That's the only option we have. So you can see we don't have any options down here as the second option. So let's go back to the actual photo, and you can see at 255 yards on average drive, you're looking anywhere between, if you go to the front edge, which is like right here, that's 173, middle of the green's 185. So you can either hit 6 iron to the front, depending on wind. But if you do that, look what you're bringing into play, those 2 bunkers, one on the left, one on the front right. So it's probably either a 5 iron or maybe a 4 hybrid, just to make sure that you clear all of that. And then you'd rather either be putting from the back of the fringe and or chipping back to the hole. So that's the plan there. Driver, and take enough club either to make it over those traps and be on the green, or if anything, maybe take a smooth 6 iron and just hit it short in the neck there, chip up, see if we can't make an up and down for par. All right, that's hole 2. Hole 3, let's get to the 255 mark. And then that leaves us 200 yards in, just 191 into the green. So let's go to our notes here. And hole number 3 is a par 5. So you're looking at 255 and 189, 190 in there. Driver, 6 iron or a 4 hybrid, depending on the wind. You can see that 6 iron right front of the green is a great place to come in from. So we can hit that 6 iron to about 180, and we can just chip it short, or we take the 4 hybrid where we hit it to 195 to 205 and give ourselves a chance to get it on the green. But again, you can see the bunkers on both the left and the right side of the fairway possibly come into play with that aggressive shot. So I think what I might do on day 1 and day 2 is play the par 5s aggressively, yet at the same time conservatively on our second shot. Hit the driver out there, get it in good position, and then depending on the swing and how we're playing and whether or not we are playing well under par, over par, or even, that'll all dictate, our strategy moving forward. So I truly believe we'll make this a 3-shotter. We'll go 255 and then like a 6 iron out to the front, have about 30 yards in, hit a 48-degree wedge in there, spin it, try to get it close, make a birdie, and get out of there. Okay, hole number 4. You can see that we need to move these because we're not going to play the back, so we'll just move it up a bit and then move this to the middle of the green. So you're looking at about 173-yard par 3 here. Let's take a look in the notes. This is hole number 4. Not one of our holes that we need to make a par on, but at the same time, you're looking at 170, 173. So that's right around a smooth 6 iron. Just draw that in from right to left, put it in the middle of the green, 2 putts, and we'll get out of there. Okay, hole number 5. Let's take a look. Again, let's move this to 255-ish. Let's move this up a little bit on the tee box. Okay. All right, so 255 to 136, hole number 5. So that's pretty open, so you can, I don't say swing out of your shoes, but you can spray it a little bit. You might be in a little bit of rough depending on how deep the rough is. Obviously, hitting it in the fairway is most imperative. So hit it down the middle, 255, if not longer. Giving ourselves 136 in. So that's either, if it's downwind, that's a smooth 9 iron. If it's into the wind, we'll take a lash at an 8 iron. So let's take a look at our notes here on hole 5. 255, 146 driver, 9 or 8 iron, as you can see listed. And down here in the alternates, nothing, because that's what we'll play, driver, and then 9 or an 8 iron after that. Okay, hole 6. All right, hole 6, obviously driver over the water. Let's move that up just a little bit. This one here, you can get out into the 255 range. If you move it to the right, you can blow it into the rough. You pull it left, you can hit that bunker, or possibly in the into the rough. So we have two options here. We're going to go driver and then a 48-degree wedge, which is 100 yards or in for us. Or what we might do is bring this back down to the 230 range right here. Keep it well away from the rough. Keep it away from that bunker on the left. Hit just a 3-wood out there, and then have a half pitching wedge or a choke down pitching wedge right into the green. So let's take a look at the notes. Hole number 6. We have driver and a 91 yards. So driver and 48-degree wedge is option 1. Option 2, we can drive it to 240 and still have 111 yards in, which is 3-wood and pitching wedge. So 230, I'm sorry, this is hole 6, yeah. 230, 240, 3-wood and pitching wedge. All right. So looks pretty good at this point. All right. Hole 7. All right, similar here. Let's go ahead and move that tee box into the middle there, and then move this up to, let's just say we're going to go 230, 235, and then 116. So 235, and again, if you hit it too far, you can be in the woods. If you hit it too far left, you're in the woods. Too far right, you're in the woods. So I think what we're going to do is just bring a 3-wood out of the bag here, and then a pitching wedge. So again, 235, 3-wood off the tee, and then, you know, mid pitching wedge from 116 yards. Let's take a look at the notes, see if that works. This is hole number 7. 255 to 104, that's a driver 48-degree wedge. We're not going to do that. You can see right here, this is hole handicap number 3. It is yellowed, meaning we have to make par here. All right. And again, this is probably the 3rd handicap because of how narrow of a driving hole it is, and you can get yourself in trouble into those woods. So we have to hit it safely off the tee. So what we'll do is hit it 230 and then have 128 yards in or so, or 116-ish, something like that. So we'll go 3-wood, 4-wood, and then pitching wedge. So that shouldn't say 4-wood. What that should say is 3-wood. Back here, and 3-wood. Okay, perfect. So, you know, 230, 240, they're both 3-wood. It just depends on how you hit the ball, the degree of power you're going to use on your swing. So either one is appropriate. So in my opinion, on this hole right here, absolutely use the 3-wood, and the pitching wedge will go alternate number 2. All right, so what I'm going to do on hole number 7 is, if we can go like this and dark border around that, that is our chosen route, hole number 7. Okay. Hole 8, real quick. Looks like not a bad place right here. Put that right in the kind of back middle. And then we'll move this around to the very middle. So that's 132. So hole number 8 is a 9-iron, mid 9-iron. Hole number 8, 135 yards. We have a 9-iron, right? And then down here we have if it's 140 yards, will you go ahead and use an 8-iron if it's positioned in Sunday pin placements, tournament placements. You know, they love to do that on these tournaments. They make these difficult shots. They put these short par 3s either short right behind the bunkers, or they put them back far right or back far left, so that you have to hit it back in there but have the right distance, because if you go over, then you got to chip back on and try to get up and down. And then if you try to go after it on a short pin, you might dunk it right in the bunker and then get up and down out of that. So the best thing we're looking for is middle of the green, which is 132 to 135. That is just a mid 9-iron, nice smooth 9-iron right on the green, and all is good. All right, so that's hole number 8. Go to hole number 9. All right, this is a par 5, and let's move this right up the tee box a little bit, and then 255 if we can find that, right about there. And then obviously we're going to move it over to right here. Not a worry at all. We're just going to go driver, 5 wood, and then 50 yards in. Okay, so let's take a look at the notes on hole number 9. You can see it's the number 1 handicap on the course. We have to make par here at a minimum. So driver 255, 200 yard, 5 wood, and then 56 yards in there, which would be a 58-degree wedge. And then you can see that's the number we're going to play right there. So hole number 9, we will also go ahead this way. Those are guarantees, okay? All right. Let's go to hole number 10. This is another par 5, okay, where they've put back-to-back on this course. So we'll move that one up just a little bit. 255's right there. So 255 and 224. So you can see all of the danger right in front of the green. Now, this is the number 2 handicap hole, okay? So they're tempting you to go ahead driver. Now, again, if we hit a 270, 275, and we only have, 200 yards in, absolutely we're going to go for it. But if we're at 255 and we have 224, 225, something like that into the green with those 4 bunkers up there, there's no way we're going to mess with that. So what we'll do is we'll just play it right out to here. 195 yards with a 4 hybrid, and then we'll take a 58-degree wedge in. So let's take a look at hole number 10. 255 and 238, so we can go driver 3 wood depending on if we feel confident about it. Or what we can do is we can go 255 driver, 160-yard 4 hybrid, 180 yards really, to be honest with 190. I don't know why I have those numbers mixed up. And then a 48, well, because what we're trying to do here is we're putting ourselves closer to the 100-yard marker as possible, because that's our true money number, because with a 48-degree, that's nice full swing, crisp swing is 100 yards. So the closer we are to that, the more full swing we can make, and we know our distances from there. So it's either going to be 160 or 200 yards. It'll either be a 6-iron to a 4 hybrid, and that'll be that, okay? So that's hole number 10, but again, hole 9 and 10 back-to-back, we have to make birdies or pars. That's all there is to it. All right, number 11. All right, let's move this up on the box just a little bit. All right, so this one right here, you can see the water out here, the bunker here. We're not going to tangle with that at all. We are going to go ahead and do... This is probably our option right here. 215, which is a 5 wood, and then mid pitching wedge right onto the green. That's probably the play in tournament golf. Stay away from the lake on the right. stay away from the bunker and the trees on the left, put yourself in the middle, and then hit it on the green. So taking a look at the notes, we are going to be on hole number 11, 215, 126. We're due 5 wood, 9 iron. Perfect. So hole number 11, we're going to go like this. And that, my friends, oops. That's the play right there. So we know hole 9, 7, and 11 right now are fixed for sure. All right. So let's go to hole number 12. All right, hole number 12. Here is a doozy right here. So we have 227 yards from the very back of the tee box. That's not going to happen. So we're going to put it like right about there. We might even be up in here. But we'll just say we're going to be middle back box in tournament. So that's still 220 yards. 220 yard par 3. So this course, which is somewhat short, they're trying to protect it on par 5s with all the bunkers, as well as these par 3s, which are in the 180, 190, 220 yard range. So at 220 yards, let's take a look at our notes. On hole 12, we have 227 and 210. We have a 5 wood. So whether it's 227 or 210 yards, depending on what our rangefinder says and where the tee box is, we're going to go ahead and play 5 wood from 210 or greater. And then if you're on hole 12 second here, which is, again, if you take a look, it's hole handicap number 6. It is designated yellow, so we have to make par here. So we have to play conservatively. So we have to hit the 5 wood. So no matter what, we're hitting 5 wood, okay? So again, here we can go ahead and designate guarantee. And then here we can designate guarantee that shot. So we can come right up to hole 12, know that that's what we're playing, and be confident with it. All right. Very good. Let's go to hole 13 here. Hole 13. All right, let's move this up a little bit on the marker here. Right about there is good. Let's move this up to 255 range. That's good. Cut it a little bit on that right-hand side. Then that puts us at 252. Let's take a look at where the trouble is. The only trouble we have is to the right there, okay? And it's right about 223. So, to be honest with you, 240, I think what we're going to do is driver 3 wood on this hole. All right, let's take a look at the notes. Hole 13, again, a yellow hole. This is a par 5, and it is necessary to make par. So 255, 167, 100 yards leaves us driver, 6 iron, and 48-degree wedge for a putt for birdie. Or we can go 255, 275 yards. So that would be driver, 5 wood, 48-degree wedge. So we can use a 48-degree wedge anywhere from 60 yards all the way up to 100. We're pretty good with that. So either way, depending on how close we want to get. And again, it all depends on where these tee boxes are. If the tees are up a little bit, that gets us maybe into the 220 range. It's going to change our whole complexion of the game. The last time we played last weekend, I hit it from 238. I hit a 5 wood pin high to 238. So obviously 241, we can get there with a 5 wood. It's just dependent on, am I going to be able to circumvent that tree and that bunker short right? If I can stay away from that, then it's a little chip and a putt for birdie. So again, I think that's still up in the air on what we want to do there. So we won't mark that as guaranteed. All right, hole 14. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Put it in the middle there. All right. And then let's put it up to 255 and 76. So not too bad. Looks like driver and 48 degree. So hole 14. Yep, driver and 48 degree. Yep, so that's pretty much straightforward. So hole 14, so we can go ahead and mark that down as no worries whatsoever. So the good news is through 15 holes, our 6 most important holes are behind us. And again, if we can make par on those 6 holes, these last 5 holes from 14 through 18, you know, we can't make any mistakes, but at the same time, they're going to get easier. So you can see 12, 16, 18, and 10. So that means out of the 18 holes, this is the easiest, number 16. 15 is the 16th, or the 3rd easiest hole. And then obviously you can see that on number 18, that's the 10th easiest hole on the course. So we can not rest on our laurels, but at the same time, we can feel confident that we're not going to have too much issues moving forward. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at hole 15 real quick here. And again, hole 15, 267 yards. Let's take a look at the tee box right in the middle there. Gets us to 184, 240, 248. So 255, which we're talking about, is we're landing it in, you know, on the green, short of the green, from the green, right of the green, whatever it is. So dependent on how we're hitting the golf ball, we may go ahead with 5-wood, 3-wood, or driver. So let's take a look at the notes, what we have on hole 15. 223 to 50 yards, which is a 5-wood and a 58 degree, or driver and 0. So that's going to be up in the air. So we're going to have to make a choice here. We're either going to go ahead and bring it back to 223, which is like right around there, and a nice easy chip shot, or we're going to have to go for it. And, you know, if I'm hitting the driver good, we're going for it. That's a no-brainer. But at the same time, if we're spraying it a little bit, not as confident, we'll go ahead and hit the 5-wood and give ourselves an easy shot. Okay. All right. Hole number 16. All right. This one right here, we'll move this into the middle there. We'll go ahead right here. We'll probably put it on the right side over here, more towards that bunker, because that's what they'll probably do. 125 yards. That's just a smooth pitching wedge for me. That is no doubt an easy shot. So 130 at 9-iron, 125 9-iron, actually 9-iron, or a wedge, depending on the wind. Again, we always put those variables in there. All right, 9-iron or a pitching wedge. Okay, very good. All right, last 2 holes on this course on day number 1. All right, 374. Okay, nice easy drive out there. Can't see in those trees where the tee box is, so we'll just leave it at that. 255 right out there. Only thing we have to worry about is the rough on the left and the right. Leaves us 120 yards in. So driver, pitching wedge. Let's take a look at the notes. Driver, pitching wedge, and that's a no-brainer. So that's a guaranteed. So hole 17, which is the 8th hardest hole on the course. Driver, pitching wedge. See if we can make birdie or a par. All right. Hole 18. All right, this is 300 yards. If you want to try a big, huge draw around the corner and bust it down there, obviously the big hitters probably take it right up over those trees and land right in front, if not on the green or in those bunkers. Obviously, never playing this course before and in a tournament, there is absolutely no chance that we're going to do that. So what we'll do here is move this up to, let's just say that's the box there. Jeez, oh man, sorry guys. Okay. So we can go $220, which is or 235, which is a 3-wood with 110, so 3-wood pitching wedge. Or what we could do is try the 255, try to kind of cut that edge with a draw, get it way up there into 70 yard. So we can go 250, 100 yards, 255, you know, puts us at 69 yards. So again, this is up in the air depending on how we feel, how we're doing, whether or not we can go for it, or whether or not we're playing poorly and we have to go for it. So I'm really more or less, I feel as if this is the play for us right here. Right out here, 232 to 235, 126 yards in, which is a nice pitching wedge. Hit it on the green, make 2 putts, get out of there. Okay? So that right there is course number 1, which you can see is right here from the aerial view. Here's hole 1. All right. Hole 2, moved in on that. Pretty straightforward, not too many trees except on the right there. Hole 3, which is a par 5. So drive it just straight out there and then have an angle in. So give ourselves a chance at making a stroke there. Hole number 4, 170 yards up the hill. Doesn't look but anything but straightforward there. Hole 5, let's take a look here. Danger in the front. And I don't know what that is, just like some trees over here, and just want to keep it straight down the middle. Hole 5 is a par 4 of 394. Pretty straightforward. Hole number 6. This is the one which is a 328 yards. So we were going to go driver up into here, up past that bunker, and then have about 90 yards in. And then let's see, hole number 7. There it is. This is the one that is one of hole number, it's the hardest, third handicap or third hardest on the course. You can see the drive, just a 5-wood or a 3-wood right up into that gap, and then driver gets you to 104 yards, and then if you go ahead with a 3-wood 230 or a 5-wood 3-wood, gets you about 128 yards in. So pitching wedge to a 9-iron. So most likely probably just a 5-wood up into that middle there, and then hit a nice pitching wedge or a 9-iron in there. Hole number 8. What do we have? 135 yard straight at it. So either a 9-iron or an 8-iron, depending on the wind values there. So here, obviously, big drive from back there out to there, and then like I said, this is a 3-shot hole for sure on hole number 9. It's the number 1 handicap. There's no reason to play with it. So 255, then a 5-wood, and then 56 yards into the green. So, and make par. All right, hole number 10, another par 5. This one's a little bit easier, but you can see that, you know, you're going to have to drive it out to that first yellow crink, and then take it up over that one tree, over a bunker, over the valley, over another bunker, and land it on the green if you want to go for it. Or you can just hit a nice little 6-iron or a 4 hybrid down in front, and then chip on and make your 4 or 5. And that's what we'll probably be doing, 3-shot hole. Hole number 11. What do we got here? That's the 339-yard par. We're going to do a 3-wood and a pitching wedge. So a 3-wood out there short of that bunker and that lake, and then just a pitching wedge on. So you don't want to blow it into that lake or those bunkers. There's no reason for that. Get yourself in trouble. Hole 12. Not too bad. What do we got? Par 3, 200 to 227 yards. So, yep, looking forward to that one. So that'll be a 5-wood. Hole 13, par 5. This is back-to-back yellow holes where we need to make a par. Par 5, we're going to go driver, 6-iron, 48-degree wedge, or we're going to go driver, 5-wood, 48-degree wedge. So either way, we're going to end up with a 48-degree wedge, whether it's a 70-yard in or 100 yards in. So hit a driver, hit a good shot down in front, chip on. Not bad. All right, 14. Again, not too dangerous here. Again, pretty open to the right if you can stay away from getting behind any of those trees. And then 14 is 339 yards. Hit it 255, you got 90 yards in. So just keep it straight. And then 15, this is the one over that water. 267 yards. Let's take a look. Can we get a better close-up down here? What's around there? Like what is that? Sorry. Where's 15? Sorry. It's 15. So what happens if we take that driver up out over here? We have those bunkers that guard it, some trees over there. Not a very easy up and down. I mean, if you're in between the trees, easy up and over those bunkers. So what do we have on 15? 15, 223 to 50 yards. So we have a 5-wood and a 58-degree. Probably more than likely going to just go ahead and do that. All right, probably just keep the driver in the bag based off that picture. All right, 16, 130 yards. Little 8 or 9-iron right on the green there. 17, again, out of the chute right there. But pretty open. I mean, don't go too far right and don't hook it off the tee left. And 17 is 374 yards. So you get it way up in the middle up here, and then just a 121 yards shot in. So very good. And then finally finish it up with a little dog leg into the clubhouse. Let's take a look here what we got. 18, 300-yarder. You can go 250 yards with 100 yards in, or you can go 235 with 117 in. See, there's no reason to try to take it up over those trees and get it on the green. That's a silly play. There's a barn there. So, yep, 5-wood and a wedge. All right, there you go. So there you have it. Let's change courses and NEEDWOOD. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and take a look at the course map. We won't go through all of the different clubs and all of that. I will show it to you real quick here. Here it is. let's talk about the 6 holes that we're going to target. We're going to target 4, 5, 12, 13, 16, and 18. So let's take a look at the course here from an aerial view and then concentrate on those 6 holes. Here we go. Hole number 1 is a 255 yards with a driver and then 100 yards in. That's a little bit of a draw. Yeah, there's more trees on this course, so we're gonna have to keep it straight, so we might be able to use 3 wood here and then have 120 in, so that's a wedge. So either way, we'll look at it when we get there. Hole number 2 is another par 4. We have driver 8 iron, so 2 driver. Yeah, we'll hit driver there, no worries there. Straight down the hill, hit it straight, and then 8 iron, maybe a 9 iron in. Okay, hole number 3, nice par 3 here, in through a gap, and that is 180 to 185 in, so we'll do a 6 iron up in through that gap and hit it on the green. 2 putts, get out of there with a par. All right, hole number 4, this is the first of our 6. This is the number 1 handicap hole on the course, which is a par 5, luckily. Okay, so we have holes 4 and 5 are back-to-back par 5. So let's take a look here. So that doesn't look it doesn't look like that much. 521 straight out, hit it there, hit it short, and then hit it on the green, make a putt. So we have a driver, 5 wood, and a 67-yard 48 degree. Perfect. All right, no worries. Let's take a look at hole number 5. Coming back down the hill, you can see we'll go driver, and then we can go 5 wood, 48 degree wedge again. So again, they're very, very comparable. 521, 490, you know, even with the 5 wood, we might even be, 10, 15 yards short of the green, but the 3 wood may not be the best play there. We might go through the green, we may hook it, we might hit it in a bunker. So again, just keeping ourselves out of trouble. So 4 and 5, those are 3 shotters, no worries whatsoever. All right, hole number 6, out of the trees. Looks like you don't want to go left for sure. Right, you're going to have problems for sure if you go too far right. You might have some overhanging branches, so you might have to punch one up there if you get too far right. But hole number 6 is 396, so driver 9 iron, okay? So drive it in the middle, hit it on the green. All right, hole number 7, par 3. 180 yards. Looks like it's, I don't know if it's downhill or not, but 6 iron, maybe a 4 hybrid, depending on if it's in the wind, depending on if the tee's way back like it is right there, or if it's up further. Again, all depend on a lot of different things. So we're going to think the worst for now. Hole number 8 doesn't look very fancy at all. Straight out, and then maybe a little bump in there. So hole number 8, 351 yards. Again, 255 driver to a 48 degree wedge. So if I can hit the driver good today on this day, we're going to have some good scores. Number 9, again, driver and 8 iron. So 255 leaves you 150, so 7 or an 8 iron depending on the distance, right? So obviously the driver in the middle, and then 7 or an 8 iron. Just make sure that we're to the left-hand side of that green, making sure we take that bunker out of play. All right, hole 10, which we're getting close to another yellow here, but hole 10 looks like it's pretty straightforward down. Keep it out of the trees. It's 356, hit it 255 with 100 yards in. Again, driver, 48 degree wedge. Hole number 11, we are at 391 yards, a little bit more stretched out. So we got driver and 140 in. So we're going to go driver, 9 iron, 8-iron, depending on where the pin is. Again, most of these are going to be in the far back. On this hole, looks like far back left of the green, or it's going to be short right where that bunker is, bringing that into play, giving a test for the competitors. So dependent on where that is, we'll take a look. All right, hole 12. This is where we go back-to-back yellows. This is the 16th handicap, so it's not supposed to be hard, but it is 190 yards in length from that back tee. So if we're in the back, I mean, that's a long shot to keep straight, right? And if it's up 15 yards and it's only 165, then we're in great shape. A little 6-iron, nice draw at 6-iron right in there. Keep it away from that bunker, no problem. And you know, that yellow turns in our favor. But if it's 190, it's going to be a tough shot for anybody when you're playing that distance on a par 3. All right, hole number 13, par 5. It's the number 2 handicap on the course, and it is 503 yards. So driver out there, keep it short of those trees on the left, and then 164 yards to 100 yards, and then a 48-degree wedge. Or you can go 255. So you can go driver, 5-wood, and 48 degrees. So it all depends on how we're hitting the 3-wood, how we're hitting the irons, and how we're hitting the 5-wood on what we're going to do with these different shots on these par 5s. But I think we're going to play the whole weekend 3-shotters on all the par 5s, meaning we're going to take 3 shots to get it on the green and be putting a 1-putt birdie. All right, hole number 14. You guys didn't even see any of this, did you? Oh, shit. Sorry. Oh, no. That's so bad. I don't want to go back. But let's do it. So silly. I didn't have the right... have that on there. So let's just rip through it real quick like we talked. Hole 1, pretty straightforward. Driver wedge. Hole 2, you can see here. Again, driver, got to hit it straight. And about an 8-iron in, 145 in. Hole number 3, again, 185. So we got a 6-iron down that hill. 4-iron, or excuse me, hole number 4, which is the number 1 handicap hole, par 5. So we have to drive it pretty safely in the middle. Then we have to hit a 5-wood up short and then chip on and then make a couple putts. The next hole, which is hole number 5, you can see we have to hit a good drive in the middle, and then we have a decision to make here because this is a yellow, but it's only 490 yards. So there's no reason why we probably shouldn't be going for it with a 5-wood or maybe even an iron or a 4 hybrid. But again, those bunkers come into play. You'd hate to put yourself in there and then put yourself, in a little bit of peril when you can put yourself at a really good distance, hit it close to the pin, give yourself a chance at birdie. So we'll think about that. Hole number 6, it is the 7th handicap. Driver, 9-iron. So straight up, 9-iron of green. Hole number 7. This is 180 yards, so it's either going to be a 6-iron or a hybrid, depending on where the tees are. Hole number 8, let's take a look here. Again, looks pretty straightforward. 351 yards driver with 98 yards in. Hole number 9, which is par 4, 404 yards, a little bit longer than most. Driver, and then 150 yards in. So 7, 8-iron into that. So hole number 10, trying to catch up where I left off. Sorry, guys. So a little pond off the tee, not going to hurt us at all. Tight driving range area, though. So it's 356. So if you hit a driver down there, a nice smooth driver to 255, you got 95 yards in. nice little 48-degree wedge. So hole number 11 looks pretty straightforward. Nice little cut shot up there with a driver, and then leaves you a 9-iron in from 135. Hole number 12, which is one of our yellow holes. This is the 16th handicap. So what we want to do here is, this is the 190-yarder. So we have to depend on where we're going to have the tee mark. So it could be 170 to 190, it could be 160. It all depends. So you're either talking 4 hybrid all the way down to a 7-iron. So depending on what that is, will make that yellow designation easier to manage. All right, hole 13, which is the par 5, number 2 handicap on this side, or on this green, of course. Driver, we want to put it, see what that number 13 is, right before the trees on the left. That's kind of where I think we'd want to be, short of those trees. That puts us in probably a good position for 164 leaves us 100 yards in, or you can go 200 and you can chance it and leave it with 64 yards. But you can see it gets closer and closer. I think an iron probably would be best. So driver, iron, depending on how close we get. I mean, again, you're in that 200 range, 210 range. We're obviously going for it no matter what. But anything over that, I think we might just hit an iron down into that 100-yard range, get it on, make a birdie, and get out of there. Or give ourselves a chance at birdie at least. All right, hole 14, number 12 handicap. Not a yellow, so you're looking at a 3-wood with 100 yards in. So just hit it down there. Nice little 3-wood down to the right-hand side and have 100 yards in. I mean, you might want to try and drive it, right? I mean, it's not, what is it, 319? I can't drive 319, so there's no reason to do that. So we'll just hit 3-wood and then 48-degree. Hole 15, you can see over a little lake, 175 yards. It's the 18th handicap, so it's the easiest hole on the course. So a little 6-iron or a 7-iron right into the middle of the green, make a putt and get out of there. All right, hole 16, we are now back to the handicap number 4 and a yellow designation. So we have to hit this correctly. So you're looking at a driver and then 170 yards in, so that's probably like a 6-iron. So driver 6-iron, but you can see a gap up there. So what we may want to do is just hit 5-wood and then have like 190 in and hit a 4 hybrid in there, because it's not much danger up there, and give ourselves a chip and a putt. So it all depends. I'd rather hit one short and then take a longer shot in and try to get up and down, versus being in the woods and then have to hack out and then hit it close and then try to chip one in. So more than likely we'll go ahead with a conservative play on that hole. Hole number 17 looks like a par 3 and 170 yards. So there's a 6-iron. Just get it over those traps, get it on the green. And then number 18, which is the 6th hardest, which is a yellow designation, 432 yards. We're going to go driver, and then we'll have 170 yards in, and that will be a 6-iron. So driver, 6-iron. Hit it on the green, 2 putts, shake hands, and get out of Dodge. So there it is, folks. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the snafu on having to go through NEEDWOOD Golf Course twice, but that's a little look into what's going to happen starting on Saturday afternoon at 1:24 p.m. I am paired. I'm in the 8 to 11 category. But I'm playing with the 4 to 7 group. So there are 3 4 to 7 handicappers, and then myself, who is between 8 and 11. My handicap for this tournament is a 9. I'm playing with a 2, a 5, a 6, and then me at a 9. So, and as we all know, the better you play with higher or lower handicap or higher caliber players, the better you bring your game. So that's usually what happens for me when I'm playing with good people. I keep pace and I take my time, yet at the same time want to do very well and not make a mockery of my skills in front of these lower handicappers. So hopefully that will be on my favor in day one. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great evening. Best of luck to you in the... I don't even know what tournament you guys are playing right now, to be honest with you. Bunch of trees, and it's the Grand Forest or something like that. But I wish you all the best on Golf Clash Tournament, and I'll give you an update possibly over the weekend while we're down there. Do a live stream real quick via mobile, and then we'll do a recap when I get back. All right, everybody. Have a great night. See ya.